So I'm in a new location, mostly because I finally have white walls in my house and there's no like gross orange overcast on my face if I film out here, and also no one's home, so I can just stand in my living room and talk. Today's video is going to be explaining why I've been a little bit MIA on social media, mostly on YouTube. I thought that today would be a good day to kind of talk about something that has become part of my life because of circumstance. Before it sounds weirder than it is, let me just start talking. I started dating my boyfriend many years ago. Something that his family, mostly that his mother, is really into is rescuing animals. I think the smallest amount of animals that have been in that house is 4. And there's always new strays and rescues and people who can't take care of their animals just dropping off animals, and we find them, and there's always like cats and dogs coming in and out of the house. Throughout the years there have been a few failed fosters, I think is what they're called, and that's basically when we take in an animal and there's full intent to find them a new owner and give them their forever home and make them happy, but sometimes you fall in love with that adorable furry face. At the moment there are 8 animals at his house and they're all amazing, and it's just been so interesting to be a part of it. I mean, it's not my doing really. I mostly just help out sometimes on the weekends, like I'll take them on a walk or I help with their feeding. I've helped bathe them, you know, typical taking care of animal stuff. But throughout my time being there, I have helped rehome 3 cats, I believe it is. I think it's 3. So this is where the real story starts. About 2 years ago, his mother found the first litter of kittens that I was there to help raise. And by help raise, I bottle fed these babies, I cleaned them, I helped them grow into the cats that they became, and I helped rehome one of the kittens from that litter. The other ones got homes right away. Originally, his mother brought home 2 of the kittens because she managed to grab 2 of them, and the first 2 we named them Achilles and Aries. Those 2 grew up to be huge, beautiful cats, and they were rehomed, no problem. The third one that was brought in, her name was Athena, and I actually helped with rehoming that one. She ended up going to somebody who went to my college, and she also grew up to be a beautiful cat. And the 4th one came in a little bit later. The first 3 were brought in before about 6 weeks old, and the 4th one, who we had named Apollo, he came in around 8 weeks or something like that. He was already out on the streets for a long enough time that he became kind of skittish and afraid of people, but I fell in love. He was this adorable little black furball. I'm probably gonna like insert a picture or 2 of him somewhere around me because he was adorable, and I had always wanted a little black kitten, preferably a tuxedo cat, and I like had my fingers crossed that he was gonna grow a little patch of white fur, but he was a little black cat, and I was helping trying to find him a home, but I was so reluctant. Like whenever somebody would say they were interested, I would kind of like back away or like ask way too many questions and be like, no, you can't have him, you don't deserve him. And slowly but surely they realized that I wasn't letting this little baby go. He had to be mine. And also he was going to be really hard to give a new home anyway because he was so skittish and he didn't like people. You just kind of took a step in his direction and he'd be hiding behind a bookcase. Like, he did not like people. He was afraid. But I loved him, and I don't know why. He ended up becoming one of the failed fosters. I couldn't take him to my house because 1, I have a vicious German Shepherd who does not like other animals, and 2, I have a mother who is deathly allergic to cats, so that really wouldn't work. He was going to stay with my boyfriend's family until I moved out into my own place, and he was going to come with me. As much as he hated me, I was going to take him and love him and hug him, and he was going to be mine. And that's how things were. He had all of the other cats and dogs at my boyfriend's place to hang out with, and he sort of became an indoor-outdoor cat, which I never really wanted for him to be, but it was kind of hard to keep him indoors because they have a doggy door for the dogs to go outside, and he would sneak out in the middle of the night and then come back in, whatever. And last summer, one of the other failed fosters, her name was Millie, she was a beautiful calico. She would purr if you just looked at her, she'd purr through her sleep. She was the perfect black cat. She had snuck out in the middle of the night. We tried to keep the cats inside at night at least, just as much safety as we could give them. The cats are really hard to make do what you want them to do because they'll do what they want. And she snuck out one night and we woke up in the morning and she was no longer with us. After that incident, lots of tears and lots of distraught and sadness, we had tried to keep Apollo and Millie's brother, Pepe, indoors because the other cats that we had were indoor cats. They didn't really go outside, but those two really liked to go outside, especially Pepe. But last winter, Apollo by himself just decided that he was going to become an indoor cat, and he did not go outside. He stayed inside for months. He didn't want to go outside. He liked to just lay around on the couch and play downstairs, and I had no problem with that. I was so happy that he had decided that, you know what, the outdoors isn't for me. I'm going to stay inside. It's fine. He was pretty much an indoor cat up until like a month ago. He started to kind of go outside again, go out for like an hour and then come back, and it was annoying, but you know, what can you do? I actually don't know if any of that was in focus, but I'm not going to refilm it, so my apologies if I was just out of focus for a little bit. I might have taken a step forward. Anyway, so he became an outdoor-ish cat again. He would mostly stay inside. He would sleep downstairs and hang out upstairs all day, and then sometimes he'd just go outside for a little bit. He had other black cat friends. It was adorable. There's like 5 other cats in the neighborhood. I think they're all strays, and he's the only one who has a home, but he hangs out with all the black cats, and it was cute. And then 2 weeks ago, I woke up and he was downstairs on the couch, and he really wanted to go upstairs, so I let him up. I handed him over to my boyfriend, and he pet him for a few minutes, and it was fine. And then I went downstairs, and I was doing some work on my computer. I was about to edit a video, actually, and my boyfriend had gone off to the gym, and his dad came downstairs and he told me I needed to come upstairs now. So I did. And when I came upstairs, no one was inside, and I went outside, and his mother was running up and down the street screaming and crying, and they had already put a blanket over my baby. I don't really want to cry because I have makeup on and it's been like 2 weeks, and I don't really want to mourn anything, but excuse my language, but some asshole was driving down a residential street really, really fast with his music blasting, and he hit my baby because his mother had opened the door looking for one of the dogs. She couldn't find him. Apollo hopped outside, and he never made it back. And as much shit as I talked about that cat, how he was a stinky little pea head, how he'd fart out of defense so that we wouldn't hold him, how much he hated being held in the lap, how he was not like the ideal lap cat, but has the softest fur and was just the funniest, clumsiest, most uncat-like cat I ever could have imagined knowing. Like, he'd walk into walls, he'd jump and aim for the couch and end up behind it. He was hilarious. He was like that video that used to be viral before YouTube was a thing, with the cat jumping over the baby gate and it gets like stuck halfway and it falls on its face. That was him. That was basically him. And he only lived to be just barely 2 years old. He was still a baby, because somebody decided he needed to be somewhere right then and there and didn't slow down and hit my baby. I no longer have my little Apollo, and I didn't really want to talk about it in a video, but I'm having issues sitting or standing in front of a camera and talking, because I go to sleep at night and I just see his face, because I saw what he looked like, I saw what happened, and I just see his face, and then I just think about the fact that as much as I talked so much shit about that cat, he was my baby, and I love that cat, and now he's gone, and he's never going to get to go outside again. He's never going to get to run around the house again and walk into another wall or fall off another couch. I'm never going to get to hold his super soft fur again, and it's just, it's hard. And I don't really know what the point of this video was going to be, other than to just inform you guys of where I've been. If you guys have cats or dogs or anything, cherish every moment you have with your animals, because you never know when it's going to be the last one. My last moment with him was carrying him up the stairs, squeezing him, and handing him off to my boyfriend, and that was it. next time I saw him, he wasn't there anymore. I don't want to preach to be like, keep your cats indoors, because I know some people and some cats just like, it's not an option. Because after this second incident of having cats outside, we're really trying to keep the last indoor-outdoor cat inside at all times, and he's losing his mind. He meows for hours. He sits at the doggy door and he tries to like paw it open. He tries to jump out the windows. He cannot. He's going crazy. But we don't really want to risk losing him too, because it's just not fair. Sure, they might get to like go chase a bird or play with some neighborhood cats or catch a bug or roll around in the grass, but is that little tiny bit of joy really worth risking whatever's out there? There are so many horrible things that can happen. So that's where I've been the past few weeks. I've just kind of been mourning, not in the mood to really do much. I've been trying to get my mind off it by going to the gym. My workouts suck. I don't want to run. I don't want to pick things up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I've been eating my feelings. I gotta stop eating Ben & Jerry's, but have you guys seen all those new flavors they've come out with? It's like they're trying to make me fat. This is the first time I've like done my hair and like a red lip. Whew. Haven't had makeup on like this in a while. It's just gonna take time, and I'll never forget my skittish little pea head. Can't change the past. You can only move forward, and I hope he's happy now. And I hope that if there is such a thing as kitty heaven, that him and his sister Millie are hanging out and they're happy. If you stayed until the end, thank you so much for listening. If this is the first video of my new scene, I promise I'm not always this morbid and sad and down, but it was a thing I needed to talk about, and I promise that the next video will be back to as regular as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like I said, if you've got any fur babies or scale babies or whatever you have, cherish every moment you have with them, because you never know when it's going to be their last, and you want them to have lived as beautiful a life that they could have while they lived it. I'll see you guys next time.